Well, here we are again. It happens to be Mother's Day. So I figured, why not? I'll do a video on Mother's Day since I'm really not doing a whole lot of other things on Mother's Day. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. This is the whole point of doing this in case, just in case somebody else is going through stuff on Mother's Day. Okay? Because Mother's Day is good. You know, when your kids are little and you're excited about the future. And but then sometimes to some mothers, it can be a reminder of all the things you did wrong, because that's what the devil likes to do. Because he is all things negative. Okay. That's anytime you get a negative thought in your head, always know that is not your thought. Yes, thoughts do come from the outside and it's not your thought. That's why you have to flood your brain, your mind, with the Bible so that you can renew your mind with truth. Because there are spirits, you think about, radio waves and all the waves, microwaves, the frequencies, things you can't see, but they're in the air. And, like when you turn on a radio in the old days and you had to get the right frequency and all that, and get rid of the static, and then finally hit the thing. Well, that's kind of how it is. We have to fill our mind with the word, like I said last time, constantly. Because the one thing the devil is, if you want to say anything good about the devil, he doesn't give up. Which I don't even like to even say that, but I mean, it's true. That is true. He doesn't give up trying to knock you out. I saw that with my parents. They're in heaven now, but it was nonstop. The devil's not going to give us, oh, they're old now. I'll kind of, draw back and not hit them as hard. No, no, no. The devil keeps at you until you breathe your last breath. That is why it's vital to not ever just put it in neutral, where you talk about retiring. It's a mental thing. You can't. You can never retire from warfare. You just can't, or you will make it. Anyway, I was thinking about good old Jacob in the Old Testament and his son Joseph, and I just wanted to say this. Hopefully, it won't take long. But I noticed this. I've read, the Bible before, right? You read the Bible through and all that. But one day I'm reading it and I'm like, why didn't I ever notice this before? So I'm going to read this verse first, and then I'll go back and give you my little whatever on it. Okay, this is Genesis 47. And this is when Joseph, is everybody knows who he is now. And so he goes and tells his dad he's alive, or they do. And then he brings his dad back. Jacob is his dad, okay, which his name is Israel too. So they bring him back, and all their families, a lot. I think there was like 70 of them. That was a lot of people. Okay. So, and then verse 7, this is 47:7 in Genesis. Then Joseph brought in his father Jacob and set him before Pharaoh. Now you have to understand, Pharaoh is like the king of the world. Okay. He's big. Very, very important guy. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. So Pharaoh says to Jacob, of all the questions, this is why this is just so funny to me. Of all the questions, Pharaoh, the king of the world, asked Jacob, he says, how old are you? I just think, what is up with that? Anyway, that's what he asked. And this is the dramatic answer from Jacob. And Jacob says to Pharaoh, The days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years, few, and evil have been the days of the years of my life, and they have not attained to the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. Notice he's comparing what a loser he is in comparison to his fathers. And so then Jacob blesses Pharaoh. Okay. So I'm reading this one day and I'm thinking, this is Jacob. Think about it. He's the grandson of Abraham. Who's Abraham? The father of faith. Okay? The just shall live by faith. So here is Jacob. Now, Joseph is this story main person here. And of course, Jacob, but it's Joseph that's whatever, the story. Anyway, so remember, Joseph has dreams. That's how this whole thing got started. And he's telling his family these dreams, which I don't know if that was good or not, but anyway, God, it's what happened. So his brothers get jealous. And so his dad, Jacob, which you know, because I know how we are as humans, he told Joseph, go check on your brothers. Now I know this to be true. Because obviously what happened, right? He thinks Joseph's dead now. And now I'm sure he beat himself up. Like, if only I hadn't told him to go. If only I'd have done this. If only I'd have done that. That's what we do. When something's bad happening, we always say that to ourselves. If only we would have done this or not done that. I am sure, even though it's not in here, he's human. He said that. So anyway, if Jacob, who is the grandson of the father of faith, okay? And there was a lot of miracles. I know that he heard about them. We know that Jacob heard all the miracles of faith about his grandfather. So anyway, so his son's getting these dreams. So just think of this story, this scenario. If they come back, the brothers come back and says, oh, look at, here's the coat of beautiful colors, the son that you love, how mean of that, how that must have been, these brothers to do that to their dad. But anyway, look, here's the coat. It's full of blood. Your son's dead. Oh, well. Now, you would think if he's the guy of faith, you know what? I don't believe that. We're going to find him. He's lost. Someday, Joseph, he's okay. God's going to take care of him. He gave him these dreams. So he couldn't have died. Those dreams were not fulfilled yet. And so you would have thought he could have gone that way of faith instead of anxiety and fear and worry. Think of all the years that Jacob, instead of, look what he said. He said, my days are, what did he say? Few and evil. So he must have thought the worst and depressed. Who's depressed for all those years when he could have said, no, I'm trusting God. I'm trusting God. My grandfather was a guy of faith. He taught me faith. So I'm going to believe that Joseph, I'm going to see him someday and he's going to be okay. But that's not what happened. But I'm just saying, God told me one day when I'm reading this, and it was another problem I had. And he said, you waste a lot of time by not trusting. You might as well just trust me. This is God talking to me back when I was reading this. Why not just trust me? I'll take care of it. I'm bigger than this problem. But human nature, we usually don't. But that's why I'm saying We have been given a Bible, a book to read the stories that are true. These are not just fables made up in history. No. These are true stories about real men, real families. This family was very dysfunctional. You need to read the story. It's really kind of dysfunctional. But even in all of that, God used all these people. And what's amazing is you think about it, all this whole family, Jacob's sons and grandsons and children, all of them, they were given the best of the land, even. They didn't just get to come back and see Joseph alive. They were living with the best food, the best land, the best job. I mean, it was over the top good stuff. But again, that's the deal I'm trying to make the point of. Jacob wasted all those years in worry, in fear, in anxiety, instead of remembering that his son had dreams that were not fulfilled yet, and he could have stood on faith. So, I just thought that was a very, very interesting story. But today, in my situation and your situation, you have children, I have children. We have circumstances, and we have a choice. Are we going? And what's interesting is you can be doing just great one day, and you're thinking, yes, I'm waiting on God. I am in faith. I'm standing on the word. I'm doing really good. Everything's great. God's faithful. And then the next day comes and you're like, what happened to me? What happened to my faith? It drained out overnight. So it's like you have to, because this stupid little imp, I don't know what call little demons, on your shoulder back in the cartoons. Cartoons used to, I watched a lot of cartoons growing up. And, the one with Goofy, where he had the angel on one side, the demon on the other, because that's kind of how it is. Okay. There's one or the other whispering in your ear. And you're like, just get out of here. Because especially on Mother's Day or on your birthday or on holidays, any day that's being uplifted more than any other day. In fact, it's just another day. Da, 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 da. I used to sing that a lot because it'd be a special day and it wasn't being special. No, it was being very self-pity day. Kind of woe is me day. Because that's exactly how Jacob was living. So I just want to, I guess it's just a small little thing of just encouraging myself to be a person that, in fact, I believe it's Isaiah. Let me see if I can find Mr. Isaiah here, where, yes, here it is. Isaiah 51. Listen to me, you who are following after righteousness or doing what's right. And I want that. You want that. We want that. You who seek the Lord, that's us, look to the rock from which you were hewn or cut, to the hole of the pit from which you were dug. These flowery words. We're looking to Abraham, your father, and to Sarah who bore you. I called him alone, and I blessed him and increased him. For the Lord will comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in it, thanksgiving and the voice of melody. You notice there's nothing depressing in that. So, when we're trying to follow after doing what's right, He's reminding, look to Abraham. Go back, look at this story. I called Abraham when he was one guy and he had no promise. He could have no children. Remember, he got too old? All that story. Go back and look at it. Look at that. The foundation of our faith is Abraham as a human, right? That guy. I mean, he's in Galatians, he's in Romans, he's in the New Testament. Because when we're following that, we need to look to that guy. Why? Because he was the first faith guy. Okay? He wasn't a law guy. He wasn't a Pharisee. He wasn't a Sadducee. No. This is before the law came. Abraham, man of faith. That's why he's brought up so much. So there you have that. So I do pray. Oh, wait, this is too good to not say. I remember, I was going through it. Well, been through many dark times. Okay. So right down here, it says in Isaiah 50, chapter 50, verse 10, who among you fears the Lord? Again, that's us. Who obeys the voice of his servant? That's still us. Yet, who's walking in darkness and has no shining splendor in their heart? That's how it says in the Amplified. This is what we do, okay? This is what you do when you're walking in darkness and there's no light. I mean, you're depressed, you're down, okay? Let him trust in the name of the Lord and rely upon his God. It's amazing how you can be so depressed, so down, and it be so dark. And yet you open the Word, you look to the Word, and you read these stories, and these are humans just like us, and we think, okay, God, you know what? I'm choosing, because it's a choice. I'm choosing to believe the Bible, the Word, more than my circumstance. And, I talk to my son once a day pretty much. And it's very, I have to brace myself. And I have to just really just have to brace myself and be filled with faith. And so I trust God. I'm trusting God in the midst of this storm. It's a storm. And it's a beautiful thing. And again, I say Psalm 107 a lot, but you read the whole thing. But I love this part. It's 4 different scenarios of different situations of people and problems, okay? But this one says, let's see. For God commands and raises a stormy wind, which lifts up the waves of the sea. They mount up to the heavens and they go down again to the depths. Can you imagine the ship, right? Going up and down. Their soul, which is your mind, will, and emotions, melts. Their soul melts because of trouble. Think about it. They reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man. They are at their wits' end. And you look up what's end, it means all their wisdom is swallowed up. They're at their wits' end. But then they cry out to the Lord in their trouble. He brings them out of their distress. He calms the storm so that its waves are still. And then they are glad because they are quiet. And he guides them to their desired haven. Oh, that men and women would give thanks to the Lord for his goodness, for his wonderful works to the children of men. Let them exalt him in the assembly of the people and praise him in the company of the elders. Anyway, I'm just going to pray real quick. Father, I just thank you so much that it's Mother's Day. I do thank you for the privilege of being a mother. And even those that didn't have physical children, they're still mothers at heart. They mother other people, they nurture other people. And so, Lord, I just pray today that you would bless the mothers. Let them know, God, that no matter what they're going through, you have them in the palm of your hand. You're taking care of their children. All their house shall be saved. And Lord, today, God, we release our children to you. We give them to you because they belong to you anyway. They're yours. And you know how to go after them. You know how to reach them. You know how to save them, just like you did us. He went after you. He saved you. He helped you. So, God, I thank you that you're more than able to deliver. And we are persuaded that God is more than able to keep what we've committed unto him until that day. That's 2 Timothy 1:12, I believe. So, Father, I bless the women, the mothers, and that God, they would be strengthened and encouraged, knowing that you are watching them when nobody else is. You're watching them. You're going to make sure they're going to be okay. And so I thank you for that, Father, in Jesus' name. Okay, be blessed. Bye.